7 quiet tests. That's all this is. No needles, no waiting rooms, no clipboard. Just you, right where you're sitting, finding out something most people your age never bother to check. Here's the strange part. A person can eat well, take their pills on schedule, and still have no idea whether their body is actually holding up, because the real answers aren't hiding in a blood test. They're hiding in things you already do every day. Standing up, walking to the mailbox, opening a jar. I've spent close to 3 decades in rooms with people in their 60s, 70s, and well past 80, and if there's one thing that stuck with me through all of it, it's this. Falling apart isn't the default setting for growing older. It just looks that way because nobody ever showed most people what to watch for. So let's watch for it together. 7 checks. No grading, no judgment, just information you can actually use. Test 7. Getting up without your hands. Start easy. Cross your arms over your chest and rise straight out of your chair. No pushing off the armrest, no bracing on your knees. Simple movement, enormous amount of information packed inside it. That single motion pulls from your hips, your thighs, your core, all working together the same way they do 100 times a day without you noticing. Off the couch, out of the car, up from kneeling in the garden. Take that strength away, and the world shrinks fast. Suddenly there's a wall to hang on to in the shower, and a second thought before sitting on anything low. Rose right up, no wobble, no hands. That's your legs telling you they're still doing their job and quietly protecting you from the single injury doctors dread most for older patients, the fall. Struggled a little? Good news first. This is probably the most trainable item on the whole list. Muscle listens when you talk to it at any age. Practice the motion a few times daily. Hands-free when you can manage it, assisted when you can't. 10 short reps before dinner. Give it 3 or 4 weeks. I've watched people go from needing a countdown and both palms on the armrests to standing up like it's nothing, well into their late 80s. Test 6. 1 foot off the ground
Almost
before
there.
anything else. Get near something solid. Countertop,
Okay.
heavy dresser,
I did
sturdy
it.
chair back. This test only works if you can catch yourself the second you need to. Ready? Lift 1 foot a few inches. Hold 10 seconds. Switch feet. Balance doesn't announce its own decline. There's no soreness, no warning ache.
As the vestibular
It just
system
quietly
detects
thins
movement,
out,
electrical
day by
signals
day,
rapidly
until a
transmit
wet
down the
tile
spine,
or a
engaging the
bunched-up
stabilizing
rug
muscles
turns
in the
into an
legs and
emergency
core.
room visit. That's the part that worries me most in this whole list because it's invisible until it isn't. Held it steady on both sides? Your inner ear, your ankles, and your nervous system are all still talking to each other properly, and that conversation is what keeps you upright crossing a parking lot. Wobbled? Totally fixable, and faster than you'd think. Work it into something you already do, brushing your teeth, waiting for coffee to brew. A few seconds on one leg, holding the counter several times a day. This one isn't really about balance at all, when you get down to it. It's about staying independent in your own house, on your own schedule, without anyone else's help. Test 5. The jar test. This next one surprised me the first time I read the research, because it has nothing to do with the body part, it's actually measuring. Find a jar with a stubborn lid. Try to twist it open, or if nothing's handy, just make a fist and squeeze as hard as you can for a few seconds. Turns out your hand grip acts like a dipstick for your entire system. Researchers have tracked this for years, and the pattern holds up again and again. Weak grip tends to travel with weaker muscle mass overall, lower bone density, even a harder working heart. Check one tire. Learn something about the whole car. Firm grip? That's muscle you're holding onto, and holding onto muscle is one of the single best things you can do for long-term health. Full stop. Weaker than it used to be? Keep a stress ball or a rolled-up sock within reach and squeeze it during the evening news. Carry your own grocery bags when you're able. And here's something worth saying out loud. When a loving son or daughter insists on opening every jar and hauling every bag for you, they mean well, but they may be quietly taking away the exact exercise your hands need. It's completely fine to smile and say, "I've got this one." Test 4. How you actually walk. You've walked more steps than you could ever count. This test isn't about whether you can do it, it's about how it looks and feels while you do. Next time you're crossing a room or heading down the driveway, pay attention to two things. Can you keep a normal pace and still talk without running out of air? And do your feet land sure and steady, or are you watching the ground and shuffling? There's a phrase used in geriatric circles, walking pace as the sixth vital sign, right up there with blood pressure and pulse. That's not an exaggeration. Study after study links a steady, unhurried but confident walking speed with longer, more independent years ahead. Moving well and chatting easily? That's your heart, lungs, and legs all pulling in the same direction. Noticing more shuffling or shorter breath than a few years back? Walking is one of the cheapest, most effective medicines that exists, and it doesn't require a gym membership. 5 minutes to the mailbox and back. Grow it slowly, week by week. Bad knees or rough weather keeping you inside. Marching in place at the counter counts. The goal was never the location, it was simply staying in motion. One note, and it matters. If walking ever leaves your chest feeling tight or your breath genuinely short, that's a conversation for your own physician, not something to push through alone. Test 3. Whether sleep actually restores you. This one rarely gets talked about, and it should, because it quietly shapes everything else on this list. Question. On most mornings, do you wake up feeling like the night did its job? Sleep changes with age, lighter stages, an earlier wake time, maybe a trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m. That's ordinary and nothing to fear. What matters is the bigger picture. While you're out, your body is stitching muscle back together, calming inflammation, steadying your heart rhythm, and your brain is doing something almost unbelievable, flushing itself clean and filing the day's memories into long-term storage. Waking rested? Protect that pattern like it's valuable, because it is. Waking exhausted, no matter how long you were in bed? A few gentle adjustments help more than people expect. Same wake time daily, sunlight on your face soon after rising, caffeine capped by early afternoon, a cool, dark room, a real half-hour of winding down before the lights go off. And if you're told you snore heavily or wake up gasping, mention that to your doctor. Sometimes there's a specific, treatable cause underneath it, and it's worth chasing down. Test 2. Are you still reaching for something new? Forget the word memory test. Ask yourself something gentler instead. In the last month, did I learn anything at all? Losing your glasses or blanking on why you walked into the kitchen, completely normal, at every age, including for a busy 40-year-old. That's not the signal to watch. The real signal is curiosity. Are you still picking things up? A recipe? A card game? How to video call a grandkid? For a long time, science assumed the older brain was basically finished growing. That turned out to be wrong. Your brain keeps forming new connections for as long as you're alive. Treat it like a muscle, and like a muscle, it responds to being used. I once treated a woman who picked up piano for the first time at 79. 2 years in, her family said she was sharper than she'd been in a decade. Not magic, just a mind finally being asked to work again. Still curious, still poking at new things. Keep feeding it, puzzles, real conversation, books that make you think. Feeling foggier, pulling back from effort? That's an invitation, not a diagnosis. Pick one small thing this week. A new word, a different way to cook an egg. Ask someone to teach you something. The moment learning stops is the moment the mind starts to dim, and the moment you start again, it wakes right back up. Test 1. Do you have a reason and someone waiting? No stopwatch for this one. No jar, no chair. Just 2 questions. Do you have something that needs you when you wake up? And is there at least one person who'd notice if you went quiet? I'm putting this last because it's the one that's mattered most across everyone I've ever treated. I've watched patients with a stack of diagnoses outlive every prediction because something or someone kept pulling them forward. And I've watched people in excellent physical shape fade fast once that pull disappeared. The research backs this up starkly. Chronic loneliness doesn't just feel bad, it wears on the body at a level comparable to some of the physical risk factors we spend the most time treating. We were never built to do this part alone. I think often about a widower I cared for after 50 years of marriage. For a while, I genuinely worried for him. What turned things around wasn't anything from my prescription pad, it was a standing Tuesday breakfast with two other widowed friends from his church. Eggs, coffee, same booth, every week. That breakfast outperformed most of what I could have prescribed. If your world has gotten quieter, and for so many people it has, through no fault of their own, please hear this clearly. Connection isn't gone for good. It rebuilds at any age, from any starting point, and it doesn't need to be dramatic. Call one person this week. Say yes to the invitation you'd normally skip. Keep a plant alive. Check in on a neighbor. Even a small wave across the driveway counts as a rep for the same muscle. Where that leaves you 7 checks. Rising without your hands. Balancing on one foot. A firm grip. A steady walk. Sleep that actually restores you. A mind still reaching for something new. A life with a reason and a person in it. Sailed through most of them? You're doing something right, and it isn't luck. Keep it up. Struggled with a handful? That's not bad news. That might be the most useful thing you learn all week, because every single item on this list responds to attention. None of it is fixed. None of it is sealed by your birth date. Pick the one that felt weakest. Just one. Start tomorrow. Small. That's the entire secret. Not a program, not a overhaul, just small repeated attention paid to the right things. If this helped, stay close. There's more of this ahead, and we'll work through it together, 1 week at a time. Take care of yourself. I mean that.